Hello everybody, this is Lila in Hawaii. I'm making another fabric journal, and I decided to make a quick and easy one this time. It's one I've made many times before. It is the fabric pamphlet journal or book. Very easy to make, but there is a trick to it if you're using a one-way pattern fabric, and toile is notorious for being one-way, meaning all of the pictures go one way on the fabric. Let me see this way. So they all go this way on the fabric, and you want a piece of fabric for this 20 by 16 inches. So in order to achieve the pamphlet look, you've got, when it's folded, it'll be sort of folded like that. One side will be facing up the correct way, but if you look at the other side, this would be how it is. It's upside down. So what you have to do to overcome that is cut it down the center. In other words, cut it right along the center. That's on the 20-inch length. Just cut it. So I leave, when I cut out the fabric, I leave about, instead of 16 inches, I leave 17 inches. So it'll be 17 inches that way. And then I cut it in half down the center, and then when you look at it, the way you accomplish this is you have the bottom of the fabric picture facing that seam, and on the other piece the bottom of the fabric picture facing the center seam. So this piece will be with the feet of it, I call it, the foot of it, toward the center, and this piece, the other half, toward the center. So it'll look like that. You'll have right side, and then you'll have it the opposite way. And I've already sewn it because I didn't want to take time to sew it in front of you. But then the next thing to do is to fold it into the pamphlet. And the first thing you do is you fold it in half. In other words, you're folding the two 20-inch pieces together at the end, or fold the 20-inch piece in half. So the seam is still going across the center. And what you do is you'll iron that. Iron the seam. You've got to have good creases. Okay. So when you've done that, you open it. And of course you're going to iron it the other way, the way you sewed. If you're not using a one-way fabric, well then you don't have to join it, so there's no problem. But you just have to fold the fabric in half across the width, across the 18 or 16 inches, I should say, that way. So that's already done. I've already folded it that way as well and pressed it. And then on the wrong side of the fabric, if you're using just a one-sided fabric, you're going to fold it with the right sides like that into the center seam from the ends, and into the center from the ends. So you've got a sort of a square like that. So you've got folds here that you're going to press, 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 and then you've got that seam, the original seam, running across both sides. And I'm going to move the arm because it's burning me. And so you've got that like that, so the other side will look like that. Now, normally with a pamphlet, you'll have a cut in the middle that you'll cut with scissors. And because I've sewn it, all I need to do is rip out the seam. And I'll rip it between that and that. I hope you can see that. There, which is the first fold. I'll rip it right across the middle to, you might say, the third fold, or the other fold on the end. And I just take my trusty seam ripper. I'm just going to get started. Okay, so there, I've opened that up. And I have opened it a little bit beyond the fold there and a little bit beyond the fold there. It doesn't matter. Okay, so now turn it back to the right side, or you can do it the other way, and then you simply pull those two pieces, and they're going to get folded in later, and actually we can put a pin right on that fold there. So I've pulled those apart, and then this and this gets pulled apart. So now you have sort of like a four parts of a cross. So I've got one, this is where I pulled it open, this is where I pulled it open, and these two I didn't pull open, so they're still sewn, but there's the cross. And all you need to do now, of course, is fold your book into place, and you decide which way you would like your pages to go, and then of course you need to stitch. So generally, before I go much further, I'll go to the sewing machine and I'll stitch around each page, and I'll make sure that they're facing correctly. Now this one, because this is folded here and this is open, this is where I tore it open, I am going to have to probably do that. But then I stitch around all the sides. You can't stitch beyond the center, so you always have to break your thread at the center, but you're able to stitch around all the 4 pages like that, and then you simply decide which image you think might be the best for the front. And I sort of carefully look at those. You may not want a very busy front, because if you're like me, I'm going to be putting pictures, and I've got all kinds of black and white trims I picked out, and some brown trim, and I've got some rickrack, and I've got some other whatever it is, and then I've got kind of a toile ribbon, and I'm going to bring in some brown and some other little bits of other color, of course, but I will be putting images on, so I have to keep that in mind when I'm choosing. Now let me see, for the front I haven't decided yet. And it's probably going to have to be something that I don't mind covering over. So maybe that will be the front, and it has some people with, I guess it's a donkey, little boy sitting down there, someone under a tree, and someone fishing up here with a net. Probably when I put the image on, whatever it is, that'll cover up, maybe it'll cover up this, which is good with me. I don't particularly want a donkey and some people on the front of it, so that's it. So then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have 8 pages to put script and images and lace and all kinds of things. I've made these a lot, and in fact I had some videos before where I used red toile, but somehow or other, I don't know what happened, but they disappeared off the internet. So they've gone. But anyway, black and white toile is very pretty, looks lovely with white lace. So I'll show you how I proceed with this after I've stitched around it later. But anyway, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.